Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover on the Elddis Signature 185, which is exclusive to Tyne Valley Motorhomes. So starting on the driver's side of the vehicle, you've got your two fridge vent covers, and then if we move slightly back, you've got your freshwater intake, so you'd put a hose pipe in there and fill until it either overflows or until you're happy you've got enough water on board. And then down here you've got your grey waste water outlet, so if there's anything you've put down a plug hole, sink, shower and hand basin goes into a separate holding tank, and you'd simply open it up on the way out of the site in the motorhome service bay. And then next to it you've got your freshwater drain, so if you've taken on contaminated water or you've not using the vehicle for a while, you'd let the water out. And in the winter it's very important that you'd winterize the vehicle, and to do so you'd open these two to allow all the water out, so no water freezes in the tanks below. And this locker here, so all these lockers on the outside open with a tri-mark key. You've got your leisure battery, and then here is where you took the vehicle up, so you get your hooker blade, hook up, put the wire through here, and then below you'll notice you've got a 3-pin plug, so if you need power in the awning, plug an extension in there and then chuck the extension underneath the vehicle and onto the other side where your awning is. At the back you've got your toilet. So to operate your toilet, first of all you need to make sure the blade's closed, and then you'll be able to lift the orange handle and slide the cassette out. When it comes out the vehicle, you've got a handle so you can drag it to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your showering toilet block. And then you'd remove the grey cap. Remove the grey cap, press the button, tip out. Once you've tipped it out, put some water in via the spout, give it a final rinse and tip out again. And if you're using the liquid form of chemical, you fill it up, so you've got some measurements there on the cap, put it in, and it's good to go back into the vehicle. If you're using the tablet form, you'd open the blade, put a pint of water in, and then drop the sachet, which is the green or the blue tablets, into here, and it'll break up into the liquid. Pushing it back into the vehicle, and it's good to use. You've got some storage here for chemical and spare loo roll. Then on the back you've got your cold water feed for your shower, so it's just like on the other end of the hose is a trigger gun. It's got a hose lock connection, so you just push it in, make sure the pump's on, and you'll get pressurized cold water feed for the dogs, the kids or the bikes. At the back you've got your high level brake light and reverse camera, and this customer has fitted a 2-person Fiamma bike rack. So pull it down, wheels on here, these through the wheels which tie the wheels to the rails, and this through the last bike, and this through the first bike, and that's just your crossbars. Then what you do is you put some sort of strap to secure the bikes on and lock them onto the vehicle, so that if you were to stop anywhere, your bikes are locked onto the back of the bike rack. Coming on the passenger side, you've got LPG, so liquid petroleum gas. This is your gas locker. So in here you can fit 2 6-kilogram gas bottles. You'd strap them in when they're on the vehicle, turn them off when travelling and on when you arrive on the site, and then to connect your pigtail, no need for a spanner. It's a hand tighten left hand thread, so opposite with it being gas, tighten as hard as you can get it, and then turn on and off at the top of the bottle. Next to it you've got your gas barbecue point, so your external gas point. So there's a spigot there, you just need to cut that off. That connects on the bottom here. You get some gas rubber hose and some Jubilee clips to connect it to your Kadak or external awning heater and turn on and off via the LPG tap. Put your awning light, and then at the front you've got your diesel, which opens with the main ignition key, and you've got, because it's a new diesel engine, it's got the AdBlue which is a 19-litre tank. The light will come on between the fuel and temperature gauge. It'll look like an exhaust light. When that does come on, if you just simply top it up as soon as possible, otherwise the vehicle can go into limp mode or fail to start. You can top it up by buying the AdBlue on the pump, or you can buy it in the barrels to top the AdBlue system up. You've got your tyre pressures there, so 5 on the front, which is 72.3 psi, and 5.5 bar on the back, which is 79.5. You've got your toolkit under here, so you've got a jackknife brace and a torn eye, as it does have an underslung spare wheel at the back of the vehicle. And you do have your engine battery underneath the floor. Bonnet release. Got all your fluids this side, so you've got screen wash, this lifts off, and you've got power steering and coolant, brake fluid, oil, an oil dipstick, paint cord, and then you do have an earth. And under here you've got a positive for giving or receiving a jump start, and your weight plate with it being now classed as a motorhome. So it's 3.5 tonne. Anyone with a standard car licence can drive this, but if you were wanting to tow with this, you can tow an extra 2 tonne, which your train weight can't exceed 5.5 tonne. So this is your 12 volt control panel. So you've got your master switch here, which turns on 12 volt or 240 volt if you're hooked up. If you're not hooked up, you will just have 12 volt off your leisure battery. Then next to it you have your pump, so you turn that on if you want to pressurise water. So you want to use any water, so taps, toilet, shower, external shower, you must have the pump on to pressurise the water. Obviously if you've got no water on board, don't put the pump on because you'll burn the pump out. And then below you've got your master switch for your lights, which are all then individually switched, and an awning light here, which is the light outside on the side of the vehicle. Here you've got a reading for your leisure battery, and then here you've got a reading for your fresh water. And then next to it you'll have your entrance light, which is normally the lights when you first walk into the vehicle. So to operate your wheel heating and hot water systems on the Elddis range, so you've got at the top here you've got hot water, and at the bottom you've got heating. Then if you click, you'll be able to display which source you want to go on. So if I just click the hot water first, start from the beginning, you've got one wiggly line, which is 1 kilowatt of electric. You'd normally use this on smaller CL sites or sites where you don't get a big enough current through your hookup lead. Then you've got 2 wiggly lines, which is 2 kilowatts of 240 volt electric, which you can use on most campsites throughout the UK. You've got gas on its own, so if you're wild camping and you didn't have any hookup facility, you just have to use gas.
I'm in the van on the pitch.
And then you've got gas and 1 kilowatt of electric, and gas and 2 kilowatts of electric. Obviously 2 sources together will double the heating time of the vehicle, so it will reduce it, should I say.
To the workshop in the air.
So you'll get hot water a lot quicker than just on electric or gas, because both sources together will reduce the time. So this is better if you're using it in the winter months or you are desperate for hot water. And then below you've got electric on 1 kilowatt for heating, electric on 2 kilowatts, electric on 3 kilowatts to heat the vehicle, gas on its own when you're wild camping, gas and electric, which you'd use more for the heating in the winter months when it's cold, just to give the heating that boost to heat the vehicle up. And then you would turn it off the gas, as you wouldn't want to waste your gas, and allow the electric to continue to heat the vehicle. Should you get a warning exclamation mark down the side here, which means one of them has failed, all you need to do is press whatever's failed. So say it was the hot water and the plus sign together, press and hold. So just press and hold and continue to hold until that red exclamation mark was to disappear. Then you'll be able to reset the panel by just setting the source up again. Temperature, so you've got a plus and a minus, so at the top here it's 30 degrees, in the middle is 15, so you can select the temperature you want the vehicle to be. To operate the Dometic fridge, so you've got 3 ways. You've got off at the top, mains 240 volts. This is when you've got to have the vehicle hooked up to hook up. So if you're lucky enough to keep this at home, you'd obviously pre-chill the fridge on electric a couple of days before you go away. Put the shopping in the night before and allow that to chill. And then what you can do is you can turn it to the battery, and the battery is a feed off the engine alternator when the engine's running only. So it's not off the leisure battery, it's just off the engine alternator, and that'll just turn the fridge into a big cool box and keep the temperature the same. So it won't get any colder, but it won't get any warmer. It'll just keep it nice and fresh until you either go back to electric, or if you're wild camping, you'd go down to gas, which is the bottom one, push your temperature valve in and the igniter, and then when this orange line slides into the green, when it moves along, sometimes it just takes a little while if you've just put a gas bottle on and it's a new vehicle like this one is. There you are, it's gone into the green and that's lit. So rate your cooker, which is a new Fedford cooker. You've got 3 gas rings, so make sure the gas is turned on and you'll be able to light your gas rings there. And then once you've turned them off, allow them to cool before you put the glass lid down. But at the back you do have a electric hot plate, which is on mains electric only, so if you don't want to waste your gas you can just use the back one. And then below you've got your grill, and below the grill you've got your oven there. So you may want to take your grill pan and oven shelves out when travelling, or wrap them up, as this can be the main cause of rattling when on the road. And below the cooker you'll find your gas taps, and on the other side you'll find your main isolation plug for your hot plate. So with the gas taps, any problems with gas, turn the bottle off to be safe. These are mainly for when the vehicle is habitation serviced. Above the cooker, in the kitchen cupboard on the 185, you've got your Truma solar panel regulator, so this is charging your leisure battery. And then you've got your isolation plug for your microwave, should you ever need to isolate the microwave or remove it. And below you've got your plates and your cup rack. In the back here you've got your freestanding table just in here. And then above you've got a ledge for a freestanding TV if you were wanting to have your telly freestanding. You've got 2 12-volt USBs and 2 3-pin plugs on mains electric. Your light switch for above the cabinet, and then you've got a 12-volt and a TV aerial. Above is where you'll find your TV aerial, where it's located. So what you need to do is when travelling you always need to make sure the stem is pulled down. But if you are struggling to get a TV signal, you can loosen this white nut at the top off, push this stem up, and then use the black collar to direct the aerial. But what I would do is look where other motorhomes and caravans are pointing on your site, and you'll be able to get a good signal. Should you struggle, you've got a booster on the back here, so you can amplify the signal up and down should it be too strong or too weak. Here is your Wi-Fi system. So this has been fitted as an extra to this vehicle, so they don't come standard with this. So if you haven't ordered it through us, it'll not be in your vehicle, but this customer has. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to go to your phone provider and ask for a data only SIM card, as they do come with pay-as-you-go SIMs, but you'll have to always top them up. What I would do is just get a data only pay monthly SIM. It'll go in the back here, so you just pull the back off, lift the battery out, and underneath you can put your SIMs in. You've got a Wi-Fi code here, so what you do is put your SIM card in, then turn the unit on from the front. There's an aerial which amplifies the 4G signal on the roof, so you'll get a very good signal with these. And then what you do is you put the key, you find it on your phone, which is called Hawaii, put the key in, which is on the back, and then connect to it. And you can connect all your devices to this little router. You've got storage above the beds on both sides, so always make sure you're just pushing the catches down first to release. So storage, if you lift this bed, you've got a bit of storage on this side, so you can lift it up, but you do have your water pump, your wheel arch and your battery box, which slightly intrudes the space. You've got a main battery fuse on the end of here, so it's a 25 amp, or should I say 25 amp battery fuse there. So, and then the main fuses for all the 12 volt appliances in the vehicle, and the trips are just in here. So at the top you've got all your trips on mains electric, and at the bottom you've got all your 12 volt fuses, so it would be a good idea to carry some spares. And then at the bottom you've got a small rocker switch, which is your tank heaters, as this is fitted with the winter pack. So if it's going to potentially freeze overnight, if you just turn them on, it'll put some current through the water to stop the water from freezing in the plastic tanks below. On the other side you've got drawers, so you've just got 3 large storage drawers, and this bed doesn't lift up because of the drawers, so it's a fixed bed, this one, but the other one does lift up. Above the bed and the front lounge you've got these individual reading lights, which are all individually switched. So as long as you've got your master switch for your lights on the main control panel, you can turn each bezel light on if you want it on or not by just a little switch at the top. Top right, the Thetford toilet, so ensure the pump's on, and then you'll be able to press the blue button at the back. So this is your electric freshwater flush. Always flush the toilet before use, which lubricates the blade. Then open the blade, which is this grey lever, so if you slide that to the right, it allows everything to go into the cassette. Then what you do is flush after use and slide to the left, which isolates the blade and allows you to get the cassette out should you need to change it or should it be full. When it is full, you'll get a little light on here underneath the diagram of the cassette. Got your wardrobe at the back, so there's your loose fit carpets. Light is in here, it's just a pull cord. Your plug is a push plug. And there's your water, getting lovely and warm there. Put some more toiletry cabinet underneath. And then with the shower, the little turnbuckle here to keep the doors in position when travelling. And then when you are winterising the vehicle, if you just remove the shower head from the hose, leave all the mixer taps open throughout the vehicle and allow the hose to line the shower tray, so any water that could coil up in here will drain directly out the plug hole. So underneath both lounge seats at the back on the 150, you've got, as it's a 4-berth, it's got 4 belts, but the 2 belts, other 2 seats are hidden away. So if you take the cushions off, lift it up, what you'll want to do is there's 2 little chrome catches. Lift the board up slightly, push them in, slide it back, make sure that clips back, and then to assemble the seat you've got 2 levers. You've got a lever here for the bottom and a lever here for the headrest, so you just need to have a play about, use the levers, and then what you'll need to do is the seats need to clip on to these little lugs like so, and you'll notice you've got Isofix points on this model as it's a new 2021 model, and you've got the same the other side. So you've got 2 travelling seats there as it's a 4-berth 4-belt. Now in the cab, to the right of the driver you have your handbrake, which is just down here. So your handbrake's just there. Then on the door you have electric mirrors at the front and electric windows. So you have 2 adjustments on the joystick so you've got the big mirror and the bottom one, which is the blind spot. And then to black the cab windows out, so you've got Remus car blind, so if you pinch, slide out there, that'll black the passenger and driver. And then what you need to do is pull both out here. Because this model's got automatic lights, there's a sensor in the windscreen, so what you need to do is there's a little lug on there, it needs to go into here. So you need to just feed that in there, and then they clip together with magnets. If it's going to be a windy night, I'd advise putting something round here like a hair bubble or a plastic band just to stop it from popping open during the night with the wind. And then down here you've got obviously your rear fogs, turns your stop start off and your headlight adjustment. You've got your wipers with your trip computer on the end, which will tell you your range, your instant and average consumption and so on. You've got your steering wheel control, so answering a call, this will scroll through your media, your radio channels and so on. Volume and mute. Headlights on, off and on automatic. I'll just leave them on automatic. And then underneath you've got cruise control at the top, so off in the middle, cruise control, get your desired speed and push up. Then obviously you can accelerate and decelerate from here. If you were to brake, you can resume it here, or you can cancel and resume. But as soon as you turn the engine off, you'll have to reset the cruise control. And then underneath you've got speed limiter, so if you push up slowly it'll go up in 1s, if you push and hold it'll go up in 5s. 6-speed manual gearbox, lift the collar into reverse, which when the engine started it'll bring on your rear view camera, but this works all the time even when going forward. ESR off is just another word for anti-slip relief, so it's turning your traction control off. Got hazards, and then this button here locks the cab doors on an evening. You will have to manually lock the habitation door. Heated mirrors, USB for charging, 12 volt for charging. There's an auxiliary and a USB here. Got a glove box there and a heated and cooled glove box here via the air conditioning. And to work the air conditioning, so you've got your temperature, so hot or cold. Fan speed must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work, which is this button here. Then you do have your distribution, so where you want the air to go to. And finally your circulation, so whether you're recirculating air within the vehicle or you're bringing fresh air in. Your radio, you've got radio, so you just find your favourite radio stations and press 1 to 6 on DAB, FM or AM. Media is obviously USB, Bluetooth audio. And to pair a phone, you'd press phone, pair, add a phone, and then you want to find my car on your device. Make sure the pins match, and then it'll ask you if you want to pair, and then it'll ask you if you want to sync your contacts. Just press allow and it'll download your phone book, and whoever rings, it'll come up with a name and a number instead of just a name if they're not, instead of just a number if they're not saved. So you'll be able to scroll through your contacts from the head unit itself. And above you've got a phone holder and a clipboard, so if you just pull from the back, pull this little toggle out, you can put your phone in there and then lock it so it'll not move, or sat nav, whatever you're going to use. Or you can have a paper clip there and put a map in should you need to. Take your own unwinding handle, which can be found in the vehicle, pop it into the front there and wind the canopy out until you can reach inside of the canopy. So you can just keep winding about there, and then what you'll want to do is get your legs out. So they are spring loaded from the end, so you just push the end in and the leg will come out, and then your legs on the new style awning come from the middle outwards, so you just slide them out. So if they come out like that, what you need to do is just lift it up, turn your leg, slide it out, and there's a little clip here, and it'll clip in. So you'll see on the end there's a black tab, this is a clip, so when you're putting it away you need to press this, and that allows it to slide back on itself. So clip that in. Then if you lift the black sleeve from the top, you'd manage to get the leg, telescopic leg, adjust the height, then push this clip down. You may feel like you're going to break it, you're not. Push it down, that locks the leg, and slide the sleeve back over. Do exactly the same on this side. So spring loaded, slide it out, slide the leg down, clips in, lift the sleeve, adjust the height, push down, drop the sleeve on top. Then what you'll want to do is you'll want to wind it. So if you use your winder again, so this just bears the weight on these legs here. So if you just keep winding, and then every so just move your feet out, and then wind some more, and just keep walking it out until you're happy it's out far enough. So you keep walking it out, and then you've got a Rafter Bar, which is the centre support, which gives some support on these legs here, which it just lives in there. So again, spring loaded end, and then you'll just have to fish the awning out to the Rafter Bar, so, like so. One end clips in here, and one end clips in there, so I need to go a little bit more with the awning by walking it out. So one end in there, and then that clips in there, and then that's your Rafter Bar in position, which torques the canopy a bit more and gives it that extra bit of stability. But should the wind speed be more than 15 miles an hour, don't have your awning out at all. And if you go out for the day or go to bed on an evening, make sure your awning's in. And if you're using an air awning, on the front of the awning here I've got a C-rail, so you get a driveway kit which would attach to this channel, and it'll attach an air tent to the side of the motorhome. So to put away, take your Rafter Bar out, and that just goes back in there. So push it in one end, just make sure push right into the back channel to get the legs in, and then you'd walk it in. So walk it in. Walking the awning in until you're happy, so do about there, and then if you just release the leg, so lift the collar up, lift that up, push the tab in, slide it in, slide that in like so, clip the foot in, and then you'll want to do exactly the same the other side. So make sure your awning, your Rafter Bar is still pushed right in because it does move. So lift the collar, lift the leg, slide it up, clip, slide the clip in, into the middle of the vehicle, push down, and then push your feet. The chrome little feet on the end of the awning legs is where you'd put the pegs to peg it into the grass on your site, and then all you'd need to do is wind it in. Wind it in like so, and then what you'll need to do is, if your awning handle's got stuck, just push it up, give it a turn, and it'll release.